I still remember the sound of that phone vibrating on my desk. A single buzz, then another. And somehow I knew this was it. The moment I had been expecting for months. After 15 long years of loyalty, hard work, and sacrifice, my boss, Mr. Hartman, finally made the call he thought would surprise me. But what he didn't know, what he could have never imagined, was that I already knew what he was planning. I had seen it coming like a slow-moving storm, heavy and dark, waiting for the right moment to strike. And I was ready. I was more than ready. Because betrayal doesn't always start loud. Sometimes it begins with silence, with whispers, with small changes most people miss. But I wasn't most people. I joined Hartman and Conti when I was barely 25, fresh, hungry, foolishly loyal. I worked late nights, early mornings, lunches skipped, weekends sacrificed, all believing it was for a future the company promised. Mr. Hartman would always say, "Loyalty like yours, Ethan, is rare. I value it more than you know." And I believed him. For years I believed him. Every project he dumped on me I took with pride. Every mistake in the company I cleaned quietly. Every success he took credit for, and I stayed silent. Because loyalty meant something to me, but to him, it was just another tool. When the company grew and money started flowing, I saw the change. The warm smiles became calculated glances. The compliments turned into expectations. And suddenly, I wasn't a valued employee. I was a convenient worker. Still, I kept giving everything I had. It wasn't until year 15 that I realized this wasn't loyalty anymore. This was exploitation. It started with small things. A closed-door meeting I wasn't invited to, files suddenly being handled by people junior to me, decisions being made without my input, even though the whole department depended on my experience. Then, one random afternoon, I noticed something odd. 2 HR employees whispering, glancing at me, then looking away quickly. I wasn't paranoid. I had trusted these people for more than a decade, but something inside me whispered a warning. Then came the biggest red flag. Mr. Hartman stopped talking to me directly. He would walk past my desk, pretending to be too busy, sending messages through assistants for tasks he once asked me face to face. People think betrayal hits suddenly. But no, it arrives in pieces. I felt the pieces falling into place, slowly forming a picture I didn't want to see, and yet I had to. One quiet evening, long after everyone had left, I was finalizing a report when I heard my computer ping. At first, I thought it was just another update request, but it wasn't. It was an email forwarded by mistake from Mr. Hartman to HR. The subject line hit me like a punch to the chest. Transition plan for Ethan's departure, final steps. My hands froze. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. I opened it slowly, terrified of what I would find, yet unable to stop. Inside the email they discussed the exact date they planned to fire me, a new employee being trained to replace me, a transition timeline for transferring all my responsibilities, and worst of all, we should handle this quietly. He has been here too long. 15 years of loyalty, reduced to too long. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the screen as reality settled over me. I wasn't shocked. Not really. I had sensed this for weeks, but seeing it in writing, seeing how casually they planned to throw me away. It broke something inside me, yet at the same time it awakened something else. A quiet fire. A determination I didn't know I had, because if they were preparing for my end, they didn't know I had already started preparing for theirs. For the first time in 15 years, I went home early. I lay awake that night, replaying everything in my mind: the broken promises, the stolen credit, the late nights they took for granted, the praise that never came, the promotions that never happened. I thought about all the moments I defended this company to friends and family, all the times I believed I was building a future here, and now the company wanted to toss me out like a used file they didn't need anymore. But here's the thing about betrayal: it either destroys you or it transforms you. And I felt that transformation beginning. I woke up with a clear head and a decision. If they were going to betray me quietly, I would expose their truth loudly, not with anger, not with shouting, but with proof. Because while they were planning my exit, I had something more powerful: 15 years of inside knowledge. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't storm into the office demanding answers. No, I acted normal, calm, professional, exactly what they expected from me. But behind my silence, a plan was forming. First, I started collecting documents, not illegally, not secretly, just the things I had every right to access. Reports I had created, emails confirming decisions, records proving I handled the department's biggest achievements, messages showing how I saved the company during crises, and most importantly, documents revealing the unethical shortcuts the management took, things I had been ordered to stay quiet about. Not dangerous things, not criminal things, but things the board wouldn't be happy to learn. Second, I began writing down timelines, my work, my contributions, my ideas stolen and presented as Hartman's, everything. Third, I made a quiet visit to someone who had once been wronged by Hartman too, but had left without fighting back. His name was Daniel, a former senior analyst. When I told him what was happening, he sighed and said, "I always knew he would do this to you too. I just didn't think you'd let him." I smiled. Who said I'm letting him? The next Monday morning, I arrived at work early. The office was unusually quiet. People avoided eye contact. HR walked past my desk without greeting me. I knew what that meant. They had scheduled the meeting. I sat calmly, organizing papers, responding to emails as if today was just another normal day. Around 10:15 a.m., I received a message on my screen. "Ethan, please come to conference room B at 10:30. Short, cold, expected. I took a deep breath. This was the moment they had planned for weeks, but this was also the moment I had prepared for. As I walked toward the conference room, something surprising happened. A few colleagues looked at me with quiet sympathy. Some even nodded slightly, as if they knew what was coming, but couldn't do anything about it. Inside the room, 3 people were waiting: Mr. Hartman, 2 HR representatives, and an empty chair for me. They gave me forced smiles. "Ethan, thanks for joining," Hartman said with a rehearsed tone. I sat down, calm and steady, because they thought this meeting was their moment, but it was actually mine. Hartman cleared his throat and began speaking like he was reading from a script. After reviewing our company needs and future direction, we've decided to move forward without your role. This decision was not easy." He kept talking, using polished words to make betrayal sound professional. HR nodded along, pretending this was normal. But I didn't feel angry, I didn't feel scared, I felt strangely powerful. Because they were walking straight into a truth they didn't expect. Hartman finally ended with, "We appreciate your years of service and we hope you understand." I looked him in the eye and I smiled. A slow, calm smile that made him shift uncomfortably. "I understand perfectly," I said. And that's when his expression changed, because he realized something was different, something was wrong, something was coming. I leaned back in my chair, still smiling. The kind of smile that made Hartman's confident posture suddenly look shaky. He cleared his throat again. "Ethan, is something wrong?" "Wrong? After 15 years of loyalty thrown away like trash?" "No," I said softly. "Nothing is wrong. In fact, this is exactly what I expected." The HR team exchanged confused glances. Expected? I reached into my folder and placed a printed email on the table. Hartman's face drained of color. He recognized it instantly. It was the email. The email I was never meant to see. The one discussing my firing schedule, replacement, and handling it quietly. The room went silent. Hartman swallowed hard. Ethan, you weren't supposed to see this." I finished for him. "Yes, I know." I tapped the paper lightly. "This email arrived in my inbox 3 weeks ago, accidentally. And since then, I decided not to react. I wanted to see how far you would go." HR stared at him in shock. Hartman's hands trembled slightly. For the first time in 15 years, he was the one losing control. Not me. I opened my folder further and slowly, deliberately placed more papers on the table, one stack after another. Each document representing my major contributions to the company, projects I single-handedly saved, decisions I made that earned Hartman promotions, times he took full credit publicly, unethical shortcuts he ordered, budget misreporting he approved, meetings where he silenced me and rewrote my ideas under his name, all arranged neatly, all undeniable. Hartman glanced through them, his breathing uneven. HR's expressions shifted from confusion to concern to fear. I spoke calmly, as if discussing the weather. "You asked for loyalty, Mr. Hartman, and I gave it for 15 years. But instead of appreciation, you decided I was too old, too expensive, and too comfortable." I paused, letting that sink in. "But what you didn't know is that I've been keeping records. Not out of revenge, not out of malice, but because after years of being dismissed, ignored, and overshadowed, I learned to protect myself." "Ethan," HR finally whispered, "these documents, they show a pattern." "Yes," I replied, "a pattern of betrayal." Hartman stood up abruptly. "Okay, let's calm down," he said with fake authority. "This is all being twisted. These papers don't show anything unusual. I've always valued Ethan." I laughed quietly, a soft, cold laugh that made him stop. "You valued my silence, not me." He froze. HR turned to him. "Why weren't we informed of these incidents or his involvement in these major projects?" Hartman stuttered. I was going to... It wasn't relevant. These are old records. Excuses. Every sentence thinner than the last. I slid another document forward. One that showed the company board had questioned budget inconsistencies tied directly to Hartman's decisions. This, I said softly, is what's old, right? Hartman's jaw clenched. His eyes darted from me to the HR reps, trying to gauge how much trouble he was in. For the first time in the meeting, HR looked at me differently. Not like an employee being dismissed, but like a witness, a truth holder, someone who had been wronged. Ethan, HR said carefully, do you have digital copies of all these? Yes, I replied. And have you shared them with anyone? I smiled again, a slow smile that answered the question without words. Hartman broke. Ethan, listen, he pleaded, dropping the corporate tone. We can fix this. Maybe I acted too quickly. Maybe we can restructure your role. I raised my hand. No. The decision was made. You wanted me gone. And that's fine. Hartman blinked, confused. But not like this, I continued. Not quietly, not unfairly, not after everything I did for this company. HR looked at me, waiting. I looked back and said the line that shifted the entire room. I don't want revenge, I want truth. HR requested copies of the documents. I handed them a USB drive. Hartman tried to interrupt. We don't need to involve anyone else. But HR shut him down. Mr. Hartman, this is no longer your decision. For once, for the first time ever, he wasn't in control. And he hated it. I watched him struggle to breathe normally. His confidence cracked. His perfect posture collapsed. His voice trembled. This is a misunderstanding, he insisted desperately. Ethan is twisting things. I looked straight-eyed at him. The only thing twisted here was your loyalty. He flinched. HR continued flipping through the papers. The deeper they read, the more their expressions darkened. This wasn't just about firing an employee. This was about a boss who had misused authority for years and finally got exposed. After a tense silence, the senior HR officer looked up at me. Ethan, what do you want? I had waited 15 years for that question. 15 long years of being dismissed, ignored, silenced. Now the company was asking what I wanted. I took a breath. I want my full severance, the recognition for the projects I led, and a statement that I left the company with honor. Fair, reasonable, truthful, Hartman exploded. This is ridiculous. He's manipulating. HR stopped him firmly. Mr. Hartman, enough. Hartman froze. This is now an internal investigation. You are not to interfere further. I watched, almost in disbelief, as the power he had abused for years was taken away from him in seconds. When the meeting ended, HR thanked me calmly and said they would follow up soon. Hartman stormed out, avoiding my eyes. I walked into the hallway, feeling a strange mix of relief and heartbreak. 15 years of loyalty ending in one meeting. But as I walked back to my desk, I noticed something. People were watching me, not with pity, but with respect. A few co-workers whispered, "So he knew." He stood up for himself. Finally, someone exposed Hartman. One colleague, Sarah, gently touched my arm and said, "You did the right thing. You were always the one holding this place together." I nodded quietly. For the first time in years, I felt seen. The next few days were tense. HR conducted interviews, they reviewed documents, they examined years of decisions under Hartman's direction. Hartman avoided everyone. His office door stayed closed. His voice stayed silent. Meanwhile, I continued my work calmly. I wasn't worried. I wasn't angry. I was free. Whether they fired me or kept me didn't matter now. The truth was out, and that was all I ever wanted. On Friday afternoon, I received an email to meet with HR again. I walked into the same conference room, but the energy was different. No fear, no anxiety, just quiet confidence. HR greeted me with a warm smile. "Ethan, thank you for your patience. We've reached a decision." I nodded, slowly. "Regarding you," HR continued, "we want to offer you something." My heart paused. Offered? What could they possibly offer after planning to fire me? HR slid a letter across the table. A contract. I picked it up cautiously. "We want you to stay," the HR director said. "Your work history shows unmatched contribution. You've been the backbone of this department for years." I blinked, shocked. "Stay? Why?" I asked quietly. The HR director sighed. "Because we're removing the person responsible for creating a toxic environment." It took me a moment to understand. "Removing? You mean?" "Yes," she confirmed. "Mr. Hartman has been suspended pending termination." I exhaled slowly, a breath that carried 15 years of pain, frustration, and quiet suffering. Hartman, the man who betrayed me, was finally facing consequences, and I wasn't the one destroying him. His own actions were. HR looked at me with sincere eyes. "You don't have to decide right now. Think about it over the weekend. Whether you stay or leave, we will honor your terms." I nodded, but inside a storm was raging. Do I stay in a place that had hurt me for years, or do I walk away with dignity, finally free? Revenge wasn't loud. Revenge wasn't dramatic. Revenge was simply truth. And the truth had already destroyed the man who tried to destroy me. As I walked out of the conference room, colleagues looked at me with admiration. Some even smiled. I felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. But deep inside, a question echoed. What do I do now? The weekend felt strangely quiet. I sat on my balcony Saturday morning, looking at the city I had spent half my life working for. 15 years of loyalty, 15 years of ignored ideas, broken promises, late nights and sacrifices. Now everything came down to one choice. Should I stay or walk away for good? I made coffee, but even that felt different. The bitterness reminded me of how long I had swallowed my pride, my dreams, my worth. I thought about the company without Hartman. Would it really change? Would I be respected now? Would the environment finally be clean? Or was staying just another trap? A tiny voice inside me whispered, "You don't owe anyone your peace. Not anymore." And maybe for the first time I listened. Sunday evening my phone buzzed. A message from Daniel, the former employee Hartman had mistreated years ago. "Daniel, heard what happened. Proud of you. Took courage to expose him." I stared at the screen for a long moment. Daniel had been a warning sign I ignored years ago. If I had listened to him, maybe I wouldn't have lost so many years under Hartman's shadow. But his words now, they meant something. I replied, "Thank you." I didn't want revenge. I just wanted truth. He responded instantly. Truth is revenge for people like him. And suddenly I understood. Revenge was never about hurting someone back. Real revenge is watching someone fall under the weight of their own lies. I walked into the building early. Not nervous, not angry, just ready. People whispered as I passed. Some nodded. A few gave quiet smiles. Word had spread. Everyone finally knew the truth about Hartman. When I reached my desk, I found a sealed envelope waiting. My severance letter. Signed, approved, guaranteed, whether I stayed or left. I sat down slowly, touched the smooth paper, and realized something. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the recognition. It wasn't even about the promotion they hinted at. It was about peace. And for the first time in 15 years, peace felt close. HR called me in at 10 a.m. I walked in calmly, but Hartman was already there. Sitting across from the table, hands shaking, eyes red with exhaustion, not the confident boss, not the powerful leader, just a man facing the truth he tried to bury. He looked at me, and for a moment the room went silent. Then he spoke. "Ethan, I'm sorry." I didn't react, not with anger, not with forgiveness, just silence. He continued, voice trembling. "I was insecure. I was afraid you would take my position one day, so I pushed you down. I didn't realize how much harm I caused." I finally spoke. "You didn't push me down because you were afraid. You pushed me down because you could." He shut his eyes tight, like the words stabbed deeper than any confrontation ever could. HR cleared their throat. "Mr. Hartman, the board has reviewed Ethan's evidence. Your termination is confirmed." Hartman didn't respond. He knew it was coming. He just stared at me, as if waiting for me to say something that would make him feel forgiven. But forgiveness is not something you earn with a single sorry. Sometimes forgiveness isn't part of the story at all. The HR director turned to me. "Ethan, you have two options. Stay and take a senior role, or leave with honors and full compensation. Both are ready." My heart raced. Everyone was expecting me to stay. After all, I had won. I had exposed the truth. I had cleared my name. The villain had fallen. But sometimes even victory tastes bitter when tied to old wounds. I took a slow breath. I choose to leave. The room went silent. HR looked surprised. Hartman looked defeated. "You're leaving?" HR asked softly. "After everything?" "Yes," I replied. "Because staying here would mean I'm still connected to the pain this place caused me. I want a new life, a new beginning, one where I'm not fighting every day for respect." Hartman looked down. "For what it's worth, you deserved better from me," I nodded. Not in agreement, not in acceptance, just as a farewell. I packed my things slowly, a photo frame, a notebook, a few personal items I had kept on my desk for years. Colleagues gathered around, some hugged me, some thanked me. Some apologized for staying silent all these years. Sarah, the colleague who had always supported me, held my hand gently. "You're brave, Ethan. Most people would have stayed for the comfort, but you chose yourself." Her words hit harder than any praise I had ever received. I walked toward the elevator. and each step felt lighter, freer. 15 years ended in a hallway filled with quiet admiration, not pity. Admiration, because I didn't leave defeated. I left victorious. I left with my dignity, my truth, my peace. The glass doors slid open and the cold air hit my face. For the first time in years, the world outside looked bigger, brighter, full of possibilities. I looked back at the building, the place that had shaped me, broken me, tested me, and finally freed me. I whispered softly to myself, "It's time," and I walked away. Not rushed, not anxious, just free. A month passed quickly. I spent the first week resting, sleeping properly for the first time in years, spending time with my family, breathing normally. Then I received a call. A well-known company in the same industry had heard about what happened. They said, "We know your work, we know your loyalty, and we want someone like you." The job offered better pay, better environment, and, most importantly, better respect. I took it, not because I needed revenge, but because I finally understood my worth. And worth doesn't beg. Worth chooses. Sometimes betrayal feels like the end, but more often, betrayal is the beginning. Hartman's betrayal forced me to see something I had ignored. Loyalty means nothing when given to the wrong person. I had spent 15 years giving my best to someone who only valued my silence. But the moment I spoke, the moment I chose truth, his entire world collapsed, not because of me, but because of him. And that's the real lesson. When you betray someone who gave you everything, the truth eventually catches up. It always does. If there's one thing I learned, it's this. Sometimes the quietest revenge is simply walking away with your head high, while the person who hurt you finally faces the truth they tried to hide. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes justice whispers, and those whispers, they echo longer than any scream.